بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. This short clip is addressing some of the misinformation that is given to the general public in the mainstream media, and also addressing some information that isn't disclosed in the mainstream media. It is mainly for the eyes and ears of those journalists who are either ideologically with the state of Israel or just want to keep their jobs. And they probably know this information, but I'd just like to reiterate it, and also for the general public who actually don't know this information. Now, the state of Israel is a member state of the United Nations, which means it is obliged to adhere to the laws or the international laws that govern the world. The United Nations has got what is known as a Security Council, and the Security Council are the main body that make law in the world. The Security Council have 15 members, 5 permanent members, and 10 elected members. The 5 permanent members are China, Russia, France, UK, and USA. Now, what that means to be a permanent member is it means that even if the rest of the council vote for something, a permanent member can veto. And veto means can say, no, this isn't going to happen, just because I am who I am. So that's the justice of international law. So anyway, we know that for a law to be passed, or a resolution to be passed against Israel, they already have the guaranteed backing of the United States and the United Kingdom and France, which means if the Security Council actually makes a resolution against them, or the General Assembly of the United Nations pressure for a resolution against Israel, there's always the veto available. Now, in the fluke situations where there is a resolution that is passed, because it's so embarrassing it has to be passed, Israel just ignores it. Statistically, Israel ignores 45.9% of all UN resolutions that are against it. And of course, the other half are vetoed anyway, so it doesn't happen. So basically, Israel is above the law because of the US and the United Kingdom and France. Now we come to being a terrorist. Hamas has been declared a terrorist organization, even though they were actually elected democratically in the area that they govern. They have been declared a terrorist organization according to international law, because they target civilians, or allegedly target civilians. However, Israel targets civilians, and if Israel was any other country, it would be a pariah state. Saddam Hussein broke 17 resolutions, and the country of Iraq was wiped off the map for that. Israel to date has broken in the region of 50 resolutions since the beginning of the United Nations, and nothing. Now, if we come to the coverage of the conflict in Palestine, we see that it is always covered as if there are equal forces, as if there's some kind of symmetry between the two. Now, you can't have it both ways. Either Hamas is a terrorist organization and all the freedom, and even those who are not Hamas, i.e. anybody who actually resists occupation, is a terrorist. Either they are all terrorists and have to adhere to international law to not be terrorists, or everybody's an army and their armies fighting each other. And the fact is, they are not armies fighting each other. If you look at United Nations statistics, you will see the level of destruction Israel commits against the Palestinian people. Now, it's a sad reality that Israel's tactics are to target civilians, target hospitals, schools, and mosques. That's what they do. And they also cut off all supplies from Gaza. They confiscate people's land. They arm settlers to the teeth who go rampaging through the streets of places like Jenin, and nobody reports it. In fact, there is even a tourism trade of Europeans who go to volunteer for the Israeli army for a chance to kill a Muslim. And there is footage of Israeli soldiers making the killing of Palestinian teenagers a sport, and nobody reports it. And the minute something happens to an Israeli, then call in the ambassador, call in the spokesman, and demand that he condemns it. What I can say is Israel is, if there was real international law, Israel should be a pariah state. But at the same time, I say at least they are honest. The Israeli defense minister has described the people of Gaza as animals. And he has vowed to commit genocide. Yet countries such as Britain, France, Canada, America, and even India are on the bandwagon of unconditional support of Israel. Even though they see war crimes happening, they see the guy saying, I'm going to kill those animals. And he's not lying, because according to Zionist ideology, Goyim are animals. Anybody who's not a Jew is an animal. So he's not lying, and he's not exaggerating. He's actually being true and faithful to his religion and his ideology. But nobody calls them terrorists. Now, if you look at the other side, you stop somebody from traveling, you take his possessions whenever you feel like it, you take snipe shots whenever you feel like it, and you kill his friends, you kill his family every now and then just for sport, and you imprison him in an enclave. And the thing you want to do is you want him to lose hope. What do you think people do when they lose hope? Do people just lay down and die and say, all right, I've lost hope. I'm just going to lay down and die, or I'm going to commit suicide? Well, some people commit suicide, but others go on a rampage. Israel brought this on itself. And any of the Arab states who are now trying to get close to the West and condemning Hamas and all of that are actually on the wrong side of history. And the worst thing about it is they know it. But I don't blame them again, because these are the same rulers who are appointed by the same people who founded Israel. So don't expect anything different. The sad thing, a young man in Gaza was asked, do you think that Hamas has actually caused more problems than they are worth? And this Hamas action could lead to the decimation of the population. And his response was, they're killing us anyway. If it's not tomorrow, it's going to be today. Why should I postpone? Now, when you get people to that level of hopelessness, what the hell do you expect is going to happen? It's time that the international community, in spite of the ideologies, just for pragmatic reasons, starts to think of Palestinians as humans with human reactions. Because if you don't, this thing is going to go on and on and on and on. I hope that my message is clear. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وللمسلمين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.